Hey guys, so I think I ran into another issue with my car. Um, Yesterday at the track, well, kind of 2 weeks ago, I had a little misshift into second gear. Or actually, I wouldn't even say a misshift. I didn't push in the clutch all the way, and I kind of nailed it down pretty hard, but then I finally got into gear and ran an okay time, but obviously it wasn't bad. Didn't have any problems for like, you know, next 2 weeks or so, but it felt like it kept locking me out. So, but I would never know when. It wouldn't be consistent, and it was not grinding whatsoever into gear. It's always in the second. None of the other gears have a problem with it whatsoever. So I don't know if any of the gear correlation with the selector forks has anything to do with that. Like if it would be only one gear and not another one at the same time if it uses the same fork, which I thought it did, but could be wrong. Now, last night at the track, when before the issue with the brake calipers, my clutch fork stop right there was completely bottomed out and actually preventing the clutch from fully going out. So I'm thinking when I went to slam it in the second, when I was making that, let's say I'd say the first run, because it was preventing, like it kept winding out. I was running like a 10.6, which was still pretty good, but definitely isn't anywhere near as good as it could have, I think. But it wouldn't let me jam it in the second gear, and I didn't know why. The second run was a little bit better, a little bit smoother. But I just figure, okay, I don't have the tools to adjust the clutch here, so I just let it be from where it was. So now, everything's fine. On the shifter, the shifter cables, they're all perfect. There's nothing wrong with them. Now this, fork's it's going into every gear perfectly fine, but second. So did a lot of research online, of course. I think that's what we always do these days. But no matter what gear, let's go ahead and push the clutch in here. Move this out of the way. All right, so like I was saying, no matter what gear I put on, I had to push the clutch down. First, great, locked out, nothing. It just won't let me go in. Let's see, we go third. Wait, okay, first, lockout. Third. Now that gave me a little weird, probably just from that. So first, second, locked out. Third, fourth, fifth, reverse. All of them are fine, except for second. I'm completely locked out of the second now. Like the whole day today, I was trying to drive it. That's all I got. Now the only way it would go into second, like sometimes it just miraculously go into there. I hear no grind whatsoever. So unless I'm doing rev matching downshifts, if I do rev matching downshifts, and then it goes in the second pretty easy. It's only whenever I'm downshifting that it goes in. But whenever I'm going first to second, nothing. So obviously the master cylinder is pretty perfect. The slave cylinder, brand new. I readjusted everything when I think with the other clutch, the triple carbon that I got. I think that since I had that one, it was pretty new. The guy said it had 50 miles on it. I believe him, because when I mic'd the clutch disc, the carbon disc, they were better than what I actually read. I read up, it's usually like 4.1, some were like 4.9, so millimeters thick. So the clutch discs are just fine. So I can't be mad, because this is the Bushwhacker, whichever stage transmission that is, but the Bushwhacker, Dan Buschur built it 200,000+ miles ago. So all the issues in the past where I had issues with the master cylinder and the slave cylinder, all the different grind issues, this transmission has been through hell. So it would have been, God, seven, maybe 8 years ago. Yeah, probably 7, 8 years ago. When I got the car, the third gear synchros were going bad in it. And that was pretty much it. It just needed to rebuild anyway. But I just sent it off now. That was way back in the early days. I didn't really know too many people at Buschur or anything like that. But the over 200-some thousand hard miles on this transmission. There's been times it's run low on fluid. I don't know. A lot of people say, the transmissions are kind of weak in these, but if you go the 5 speeds and have them shimmed and everything properly, I don't see having too big of an issue with it. As long as you go with the solid bushings on the solid bushings on the shifter base, and solid bushings pretty much everywhere on that. But I think it's time to send it back to Dan, or possibly John at TRE. He did my transfer case, and it's been through some stuff. I have nothing bad to say about John at all, or really anybody that's really worked on this. If you do your research, you won't find too many exceptions to really go with. Everyone has a bad story of somebody, but never trust someone that doesn't work on their own stuff anyway. So, because they'll badmouth anybody and everybody that they know and say everybody's problem except for their own. I'll admit when I'm wrong. And I think when I didn't notice the clutch release fork was or clutch stop, fork stop or whatever was backed all the way out, I knew right there was no problem. Unfortunately, it may have caused me a bent selector fork. So we'll see how that goes. I did an in-camera view on the GoPro that day. Let's see, yesterday when I didn't get to put the slicks on. I'm sure everyone saw that. I put the slicks on, but the back spacing was not right. Everyone said it had like 1 millimeter of distance, but I don't know if that 1 millimeter was taken up because of the copper plating when Bade Polish did that. But it definitely chewed it up pretty good. So the brakes will probably have to get redone. I want to redo the brakes at some point anyway, but I want to go with some like Alcons and stuff like that whenever I start road racing or doing some stuff like that. I can't wait to do that kind of driving anyway. It's much more driver intuitive, but drag racing is definitely fun, especially the kill care when you're always gone. But haven't even got one pass on these yet. I put them on last night, was because I had some spacers at home, but that's how many spacers I was using. It's way too much spacing. So yeah, probably a bad shift fork, but the transmission has got to come out one more time. So I'm the only one to blame on that one. See you guys.